Good evening, members of the board, and thank you for the opportunity to present tonight. On behalf of the leadership team, I'm pleased to introduce a proposed strategic planning process for Saratoga ISD. This proposal outlines a structured approach for developing a long-term strategic plan that will guide the district's priorities, decision-making, and resource allocation in the years ahead. Our goal tonight is not to present a finished plan, but rather to outline a thoughtful and collaborative process for developing one that reflects the values of this board, the needs of our students, and the expectations of the community we serve. Over the next few minutes, I'll briefly walk through the purpose of this proposal, explain why strategic planning is particularly important for the district at this time, and provide some context about the district itself. From there, the rest of the team will continue with additional details about the planning process and implementation recommendations. The purpose of tonight's presentation is threefold. First, we are presenting a proposed process for developing a comprehensive district strategic plan. Strategic planning is most effective when it's intentional, inclusive, and aligned with both governance expectations and community priorities. The process we are proposing is designed to ensure that the plan is developed through careful analysis, stakeholder engagement, and collaborative leadership. Second, we want to ensure that this process is aligned with the board's governance role and the expectations of the community. A strategic plan should not simply be an administrative document. It should serve as a shared roadmap that reflects the board's vision and provides clear direction for district leadership. Finally, we are requesting the board's support to initiate the strategic planning process. With board approval, the district would move forward with the next phase of planning, which would include stakeholder input, environmental scanning, and the development of strategic priorities. In short, tonight's goal is to ensure that the board is informed, aligned, and supportive as we begin this important work. Strategic planning is particularly important at this moment for several reasons. First, the district is currently navigating both challenges and opportunities that require thoughtful, long-term planning. Educational systems today face increasing expectations related to accountability, student outcomes, and community engagement. A strategic plan provides a framework for addressing these challenges in a coherent and proactive way. Second, the district would benefit from a clear, long-term direction that connects initiatives across departments and campuses. Without a guiding strategic plan, efforts can become fragmented. A well-developed plan helps ensure that decisions, programs, and resources are aligned with shared goals. Finally, strategic planning supports accountability, continuous improvement, and sustainability. It allows the district to establish measurable priorities, track progress over time, and make informed adjustments as conditions evolve. In essence, strategic planning helps ensure that the district is not simply reacting to change, but rather leading with intention and clarity. Before launching a strategic planning process, it is important to understand the context in which the district operates. Saratoga ISD currently serves approximately 22,700 to 22,900 students, making it a large and complex educational system with diverse needs and opportunities. The district student population reflects a range of backgrounds. Approximately 61% of students identify as white, 29% as Hispanic, 6% as African American, 3% as Asian, and about 1% identify with two or more races. The student body is nearly even split by gender, with about 51% male and 49% female. Additionally, 18% of students are economically disadvantaged, 14% are English language learners, and approximately 12% receive special education services. These demographics highlight the importance of strategic planning that supports equity, access, and student success across all populations. From a governance perspective, the district operates under the leadership of an elected board working in partnership with the superintendent, which underscores the importance of alignment between governance priorities and district administration. Finally, several environmental factors are shaping the district's future, including rapid population growth, labor market dynamics, shifting attendance boundaries, and ongoing considerations related to equity and inclusion. These realities make strategic planning not only beneficial, but essential as the district works to position itself for long-term success. With that context in mind, I will now turn the presentation over to my colleague, Allison, who will walk us through the proposed strategic planning framework and the steps involved in developing the district's plan.
Thank you, Cindy. As we prepare our stakeholders who are all involved in our planning process to get on board with this process, it's important for us to help them understand what the role of the board and superintendent are in this so that we all can align ourselves and our goals. So the strategic planning process has clear roles between governance and administration. The Board of Trustees, as you guys know, sets the district's direction by approving the vision, establishing strategic goals, and monitoring the progress toward these goals. The superintendent leads the planning process by engaging our stakeholders, gathering data, and developing strategies that align with the board's priorities. Once our plan is adopted, the superintendent, who oversees the implementation, is going to ensure that the district operations align with these strategic goals. And as we start building our strategic plan, we have to have a framework, and it is guided by the following. We have a strategic planning in this proposal. It's guided by Bryson and George's strategic planning model, which is widely used in public and nonprofit organizations. This framework is well suited for our school system because it emphasizes stakeholder engagement, transparency, and accountability throughout the entire planning process. Bryson and George's model also views strategic planning as an ongoing process rather than a one-time document, integrating data, community input, and continuous evaluation. Using this framework, it helps ensure that our district's strategic plan remains practical and adaptable as we continue to grow as a district. And of course, the overview of this process is going to take a lot of work, but it is intentionally designed to be inclusive, data-driven, and adaptable, as we've talked about. The decisions will be informed by both quantitative data as well as qualitative data that we are gathering from stakeholders across the district. This includes collaboration among our district leadership, campus administrators, teachers, students, families, and of course, our community partners. By engaging a broad range of perspectives, the district can ensure that our strategic plan reflects both the needs of our students as well as the expectations of the community that we're serving. There are 8 steps to this strategic planning process. It follows the 8 steps that are aligned with Bryson and George's model that we've discussed here. The process begins by organizing the planning effort and identifying the key mandates and strategic issues that we are facing as a district. From there, the district reviews its vision, mission, values, and conducts an environmental scan to better understand the internal capacity and the external challenges. The final stages will focus on developing strategic goals, identifying implementation strategies, and establishing systems for evaluation and accountability. The structured process ensures that the planning moves from analysis to clear, actionable priorities. And step 1 of this process is initiating and structuring the planning process. So our first step is going to begin with board approval of the planning framework and the timeline to ensure alignment between the governance and the district leadership. Next, the district establishes a strategic planning steering committee that includes representatives from the board, district administration, campus leaders, teachers, parents, students, and our community partners. And finally, clear roles, responsibilities, and decision-making processes are established to ensure the planning effort remains transparent, collaborative, and of course, accountable.
All right, I have the next couple of steps. The second step focuses on identifying mandates and strategic issues. The district will review legal policy and financial mandates to ensure that our strategic plan aligns with state and federal requirements as well as board policy. Next, we will identify key strategic issues facing the district. These may include areas such as workforce capacity, academic performance, equity, and facilities. To support this analysis, we will use both quantitative data and stakeholder input collected through surveys, focus groups, and community forums. Step 3 focuses on reviewing and refining the district's vision, mission, and values. This phase ensures that our strategic priorities reflect the district's purpose and long-term aspirations. The process will include analysis of demographic trends, academic performance, equity indicators, and community feedback. The goal is to ensure that our guiding statements accurately reflect both the needs of our students and the expectations of our community. Step 4 involves conducting an environmental scan. This typically includes tools such as SWOT or PESTILE analysis to identify internal strengths and challenges, as well as external opportunities and threats. For example, strengths might include strong academic programs or community partnerships, while some challenges may include staffing shortages or facility capacity. Understanding the environment allows the district to prioritize strategic initiatives that respond to both internal conditions and external pressures. Step 5 focuses on developing district-wide strategic goals. The proposed framework includes 4 major goal areas: managing sustainable growth, ensuring equitable access across campuses, strengthening workforce capacity, and maintaining academic excellence. Each goal will include measurable objectives that allow the district to track progress over time. These goals will be aligned with district data, stakeholder input, and the district's mission and vision. Once goals are established, the next step is strategy development. For each strategic issue, the district will identify specific strategies designed to achieve the desired outcomes. These strategies will be evaluated based on their impact, feasibility, and cost. The goal is to identify strategies that are both innovative and realistic, given the district's resources and capacity. Next up will be Erica, and she will discuss the last 2 steps.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Step 7, implementation, planning, review, adoption, and communication. Step 7 focuses on moving the strategic plan from design into action. At this stage, the district develops clear action steps, timelines, and deliverables for each strategic goal. A draft plan is then shared with stakeholders through public forums, surveys, and board work sessions, so feedback can be collected and revisions made. After revisions, the board formally adopts a strategic plan, establishing it as a district's guiding framework. A communication plan then ensures staff, families, and the community clearly understand the district's priorities and next steps. Step 8, evaluation and accountability. The final step focuses on evaluation and accountability. Each strategic goal will include clear performance measures and benchmarks so progress can be monitored over time. Regular updates will be provided to the board and community to maintain transparency. This also supports continuous improvement by allowing the district to adjust strategies when needed based on data and outcomes. Stakeholder engagement plan. Stakeholder engagement is essential because the strategic plan should reflect the voices of those not or most connected to the district. Key groups include staff, parents, students, community members, and district partners. Input will be gathered through surveys, focus groups, and public meetings. This helps ensure district priorities are informed by both internal experience and community expectations. Budget alignment and resources. Once adopted, the strategic plan will guide budgeting and resource decisions across the district. Budget priorities should directly support strategic goals such as staffing, programs, and facility needs. District leadership will also review current resources and determine where reallocations or new investments may be necessary to support the implementation. And now I will guide it over to our colleague, Jen.
Thank you, Erica. So we would like to share with the board the strategic plan budget alignment table that lists the strategic priorities of the district and the key investments along with the budget sources. So the strategic priorities that we'll be looking at would be management enrollment growth, which affects staffing adjustments and transportation. We'll also be looking at equity and student support, instructional quality, workforce stability, facilities expansion, student well-being, technology integration, and family engagement. So we also have our key investments that are impacted by this and also our budget sources. For the budget sources, it's based on different operating costs, whether we have grants, capital, and bonds. Now, for our proposed timeline, we have this timeline over a year. So, what the first one would be the first month would be our planning launch. So, we're going to establish our strategic plan steering committee, and it will involve the board members, district leadership, campus admin, teachers, students, families, and also community representatives. Once we have that, we'll go to our months 2 to 4 for stakeholder engagement phases. And this is where we'll gather broad-based input and perspectives and insights to inform our environmental scanning, strategic priorities, and also our goal development. Then during months 5 to 10, this is going to be the area that we handle board review checkpoints to ensure that the elected board maintains the governance oversight and alignment throughout the planning process. So month 5 will involve initial planning approval. Month 6 to 7 will involve environmental scan review and SWOT. Month 8 and 9 will involve draft review, strategic issues and goals. And month 10 would be the pre-adoption draft plan. Next, we'll move into the final plan adoption process during months 11 and 12. And what this will involve is that we'll look at the revised strategic plan, incorporating the stakeholder feedback and board guidance. We'll also ensure that there is alignment with budget planning, superintendent evaluation, and also the metrics and annual campus improvement plan as well. And also communicate, finally, the adopted plan publicly, including an executive summary for staff, families, and the community. Here for the proposed timeline, we have a graph here that shows the process and of what we'll be doing and how we're handling it. So it's color coded. Okay. Great. Well, the next the expected outcomes that we are gearing towards and stuff. First of all, we want a clear district direction. We want to guide us to the future. We also want to ensure that we have approved alignment across campuses and departments. This will help strengthen our plan. Also to handle stronger accountability and transparency within our district. And eventually, with the sustainable improvement over 5 years, this will help our district overall. The strategic plan will be strong and aligned with our needs. It was a pleasure speaking with you today. And the final one that we'll have and stuff also, I did want to express is our board action finally that we have. So what we'll want from you is approval to initiate the strategic planning process and also endorsement of the planning framework and timeline. And also, finally, for the authorization to engage our stakeholders, which is very important because we do want the input of all stakeholders involved in our strategic plan. Thank you so much for speaking and listening to us today. We are looking forward to an aligned strategic plan that offers a long, well-developed one for our district at Saratoga ISD that meets our growing needs. Thank you.